Good evening, everyone. It is April 13th, 6 p.m. time to begin our 13th meeting of April. At this time, we'll call ourselves to order. I'll call the roll. Councilman Anthony.
Here.
Councilmember Gordon.
Here.
Councilman Holloway.
Here.
Councilman James.
Here.
Councilman Gazire.
Here.
Mayor Kilgore here. Councilman McGee.
Here.
We're all here. And at this time, I would like to introduce Lee Park Senior Pastor Chris Justice, who really needs no introduction. Pastor Justice, we're certainly glad to have you with us tonight.
Thank you, Mayor. What an honor. Thanks so much for having me. Well, let's pray. All right. And that's why you brought me. So let's pray. All right.
Amen.
Father, what an honor to be a part of this great city. What a privilege to be here and have a family here and be represented by such good people. I am thankful for their willingness to serve, and our city is thankful for their willingness to serve. So God, I pray that you would use them in great ways to represent us, that you would strengthen them, that you would redeem the time they give to this city, and that you would bless it. And I know that we would be careful to give you the praise and honor and glory. It is due only you. We thank you for the opportunity this city provides for us to pray in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Thank you. Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much, Pastor Chris Justice. We
Thanks.
appreciate you taking your time out and doing the prayer for us. And thank you once again.
My pleasure.
At this time, it's item 1 is public comment period. We've had only one written public comment was received from a lady. The comment was for Union County jurisdiction and not for the city of Monroe. Staff has notified the lady accordingly. So that was not for us. It was actually for the county, and that's been passed on. So item 2 would be consent agenda. And at this time, I recognize City Manager Larry Faison.
Thank you, Mayor and members of City Council. This is Larry Faison. Mayor, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. The City Council uses the consent agenda to consider items that are non-controversial and routine. The consent agenda is acted upon by one motion and vote of the council. Items may be removed from the consent agenda and placed on the regular agenda at the request of a council member or citizen with the consent of council. The consent agenda contains these following items. Item 2 is for the purpose of approving 2 budget amendments. The first is to fund permanent sneeze shields for the permitting and customer service divisions in the amount of $56,855. The second is to accept a $1,500 donation from Omnova Solution Foundation for Police Department youth programs. Item 3 is for the purpose of calling 3 public hearings for May 11th to consider zoning map amendment requests, amending the Code of Ordinances, Title 15, Land Usage, Chapter 156, Zoning Code, Section 156.106, titled Official Zoning Map, and Section 156.98, entitled Conditional Districts Established, and are for these properties located at Morgan Mill Road from residential low density R40 to conditional district Daxton Village. The second is located at 402 Morgan Mill Road from conditional district Crossroads Plaza to office transitional. And the third is along Euclid Street from residential low density R20 to conditional district Peppervine Glen Senior Apartments. Item 4 is for the purpose of calling a special joint meeting with the Union County Board of Commissioners to be held May 20th, 2021 at 5 p.m. at South Piedmont Community College. Item 5 is for the purpose of awarding the contract for the purchase of an excavator to Brooks Sales, Inc. at a cost of $96,094.73 through Sourcewell's Cooperative Purchasing Program, which will be used by the Electric Division. Item 6 involves minutes and reports lettered A through K. Item 6A involves disbursements from City Council's discretionary fund, and there were 3 sets of disbursements for this period. The first is from Mayor Pro Tem Marion Holloway, who dispersed funds to House of Pearls in the amount of $1,000 and Ground 40 in the amount of $1,000. Councilmember Angelia James dispersed funds to the Union County Chamber of Commerce in the amount of $10. And Councilmember Franco McGee dispersed funds to Pizza Hut in the amount of $200. Item 6B involves financial reports, and as a summary, I'll highlight several fund balance amounts that are as of March 9th, 2021. The total fund balance is approximately $36 million. A few subsets of total fund balance are fund balance reserved by policy, and that amount is $10,653,000 and change. The unassigned general fund balance is a little more than $7 million, and the total assigned fund balance is approximately $3.3 million. There are 12 sets of minutes that are lettered 6C through J, and item 6K is a summary of contracts awarded, change orders approved, and city manager's settlement of claims. And there were 31 contracts for the period totaling $258,000 and change, and there were no claims settled during this period. Item 7 is for the purpose of approving tax releases for the month of February in the amount of $1,036.47. And these releases were created by a change or reduction in value for the city of Monroe by the Union County tax assessor. Mayor and members of the city council, this concludes my summary of items placed on the consent agenda for your consideration.
Mayor Kilgore, thank you very much, Mr. Manager. Any questions, comments, or do I have a motion?
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway makes a motion. We accept the consent agenda as stated.
So do the Anthony second.
Okay, I have a motion, a second. Roll call is Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazire,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes, and Councilman McGee.
I got a comment. Just wanted
Yeah.
to be, for the record, I wanted to iterate that my discretionary funds for Pizza Hut was for a lunch provided for Benton Heights Elementary School. And that's
Okay,
a yes
very
for
good.
me.
All right, then that will conclude that one. We'll go to item 8, which will be the regular agenda. An annexation and zoning map text amendment. Request for property containing 340.514 acres located along Marion Lee Road and US Highway 601 on Pike Store. Tax parcel to be rezoned from the city of Monroe R20 and Union County RA40 to conditional district. The Greenway at Lake Lee. The public hearing has been closed, was closed February 10th, so the public hearing is closed. And since that time, we've had 4 written statements we received from the city of Monroe residents, property owners that are relevant to the city zoning ordinance. These comments will be attached to the April 13th, 2021 minutes. 2 written statements were received from that are not from the city limits. Therefore, the statements from that cannot be accepted since they were not in the city limits. And I'm to recognize at this time Senior Planner Doug Britt to provide an update. Mr. Britt.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, this is the project that was filed by Stratford Land. The project is located out on 601 South, and the map on the screen is the aerial map of the property. The 2 properties are outlined in blue. And toward the site, going south, this is 601 South, White Store Road. This is Lake Lee. And there to the north is the Monroe Country Club. This item was tabled on February 10th by City Council for the developer to address some concerns raised by the neighbors as well as City Council. A neighborhood meeting was held on March 31st to discuss a revised site plan with the neighbors. The meeting was held at Monroe City Hall, and there was approximately 10 people that were in attendance and approximately 100 people that were notified of the meeting. At this time, what's on the screen now is the revised site plan. And to the right of that is the kind of a chart that kind of outlines the difference between the plan presented in February and the plan presented tonight. At this time, I'll go through that chart. The total number of lots in February was 820 lots. And tonight, the plan I'm presenting to you is 701 lots. The 22-foot wide townhomes, those did not change. There was 100 in February, and there's 100 still tonight. all of the 41-foot wide lots were eliminated. So there was 199 in February and there's 0 now. The 51-foot wide lots, those were all eliminated as well. And basically what they did, they changed the 51s to 55s, and you can see there was no 55s in February, but now there's 342 55-foot wide lots. The 61-foot lots, which was 150 in February, those were eliminated and replaced with 233 65-foot wide lots. And the oriented to the site, though, the 55-foot wide lots are the brown area along the front of the project. And as well, this is the commercial area there by White Store Road and 601. And this is Townhomes to the far north. And then the blue lots in the middle are the 65-foot wide lots. And then finally, the yellow lots along the lake, those were the 100-foot wide lots. At the submittal in February, there's no 100-foot wide lots, and they did make those lots that were originally, I think, 60 made them hundreds, and now there's 26 100-foot wide lots. And I will say the 100-foot wide lots, with the product they're going to propose on those lots, they will have side load garages will be a requirement for all 26 of those lots. Again, so your total number of units in February is 820, and your total number of units tonight is 701. So they reduced the project by 119 lots. The density in February was 2.54 units per acre, and density tonight is 2.17. The front setbacks stayed the same. There's 20 now and 20 in February. The corner lots, and being a corner lot means that the lot has frontage on 2 streets. The corner lot setback in February was 10 feet, and the corner lot tonight for the 55 and 65-foot wide lots is 12 feet, and the corner lot setbacks for the 100-foot lots is 15 feet. The side yard setbacks, which would be the distance measured from the side foundation to the property line, the 55 and the 65-foot wide lots, they were 5 feet, or actually all the side foot setbacks were 5 feet in February. But what they modified, they made the side yard setback for the 55-foot wide lots there along the front and the 65 wide lots, they've made those from 5 feet to 7 feet. And then the 100-foot wide lots on the lake, the side yard setback for that would be 15 feet. So the lots along the lake, there'll be a minimum of 30 feet between the houses, and all the other lots, excluding the townhome lots, there will be at least 14 feet between the houses. The rear yard stayed the same as 30 feet. The minimum lot size increased from 5125, and when I say minimum square foot lot size went from 5,125 square feet to 6,875 square feet. Also, the average lot size increased. The range of lot sizes for single family lots went from, the range was 5,300 to 17,905 in February, and now the range is 6,875 square feet to a little over 27,000. Let's see. I'm gonna go here at this next page. This shows the shows a little bit of the landscaping as well as the amenity package. And one thing they did as well, they increased their street tree size from 1.5 inch caliper to 3 inches. That was something that came out at some of the neighborhood meetings, as well as though they clarified the site plan. The site plan had always, it was always a 100-foot buffer along the lake, but it was mislabeled in the previous plan. And they clarified that to label that as 100-foot buffer along the lake. And then one comment that was made too, that as far as increasing the buffer along Canterbury Drive or Canterbury Lane, this is where my mouse is. Canterbury Lane is located off Marion Lee Road, and there was a request to increase the buffer. So what they did is they made that to a 50-foot buffer. The first 25 will be undisturbed, and the remaining 25 will be supplemented with landscaping and trees. Also, what they did as far as there was some discussion about the amenity. The primary amenity area in the February was located in this area where my mouse is right now, located and down toward the lake area. And they moved the amenity area up toward the front of the project, more in a central location. In the February meeting, they had 6 amenity areas, and they still maintain 6 amenity areas. They added a small active amenity area here, D, which is basically just, it's active because the only thing it has is a children's playground and benches. and they had a passive area, amenity area at this location, which include a sitting area and I think a gazebo. So they did modify the amenities at that location. As far as also, and I've mentioned this before, obviously this is the water edge with the 100-foot buffer. And then I call it the Carolina blue going through the middle of the plant at this location, this, and this right here. Those are streams that bisect the property. And by ordinance, those streams are required to have a 50-foot buffer on either side. So it ends up being a 100-foot buffer. And there's been mentioned about grading. The grading activities, what will happen, they won't disturb along the lakefront. That 100-foot buffer will be undisturbed. And then this 50-foot buffer will be undisturbed too, 100-foot total, 50-foot on both sides of the stream. But the areas in between the streams will more likely be completely graded so they can meet stormwater requirements, as well as installing their road beds and, padding their lots. I did want to go over some of the elevations because we eliminated the 41-foot wide lot. So I wanted to show you those elevations have been eliminated, which are the 30-foot elevations. And also we added the 100-foot wide product elevations. So I wanted to go through the elevations again. The elevation here, these are the townhome lots. And as you recall, the townhome has the end units have 2-car garages and the interior units have 1-car garages. These are the 55 and 65-foot wide lot ranch elevations examples. These are the 55 and 65-foot wide 2-story home elevations. And finally, these are the 100-foot wide lot elevations. And again, you can see these are going to be provided with side load garages, and there's 26 of those. And that would be a requirement that the developer agreed to from basically staff as far as trying to work with them to, offer something a little bit different product. That concludes my presentation as far as what the changes were made for from the February meeting to tonight. At this time, I'll be glad to answer your questions. And just remember, this is the annexation as well as the rezoning too.
Councilman McGee here. How many people attended the meetings when you guys had the for the public about the changes? Did you have a lot of people to attend?
Well, we notified. I notified the same amount of people that we notified for the first public hearing, and we notified over 100 people. There was 10 people that showed up in person, and then we probably had about 5 or 6 that were. We zoomed the meeting as well. We had about 5 or 6 at Zoom, so total about 16 people. Councilmember McGee.
Okay, thank you.
This Councilwoman James, is the developer online?
Yes, this is Brandon Pridemore, the consultant engineer. I'm here.
Yes, I was looking at, so for the 61, you took all those out, and then you have 342 that's mentioned for the 55.
Yes, ma'am.
So are we not gonna make any accommodations for less 55 and more 61?
Well, in the grand scheme of things, for us to make it work, I mean, the better selling product that'll sell a little bit faster pace, ma'am, is going to be the 55-foot wide lots. So from a financial standpoint, your smaller lots tend to be the larger one. But, I think what we would like to point out is that, we eliminated the 40-foot lots, which we agreed to before this council last time we were here. And then I also heard Mr. Kaziah's statement. He'd like to see a little more space between the homes. So we tried to accommodate that, make it feel a little more roomy. But we do have 342. But one of the things you'll look at, if you noticed, was the disparaging difference between, how many of the 50-foot lots we had compared to the 60s before. We were 371 to 150. We've pulled that number closer together, try to be a little more balanced, if that's kind of the question.
Okay. Thank you.
And then one of the things, if I could just add to, I know last time the question about the bald eagle came into play. And I do want to just state for the record, and I believe Mr. Britt may have included it, but I provided him a letter from the NC Wildlife Resource Commission, which was Allison Medford. I know a lot of people weren't satisfied that I, as a civil engineering consultant, went and took a look before the last council meeting to verify that eagles nests were not on site. I did want to state too, for the comfort of those listening, that we also sent out a qualified environmental consultant that we paid for to go out there and look at it. And in return, thanks in part to some of the neighbors that got me in touch with Allison Medford with the NC Wildlife Resources Commission. We also arranged a meeting with our consultant and her, and they spent the day walking the site. And she sent us this letter basically saying she didn't find any habitat for it. So there are other steps we have to take, obviously, as we move forward with the project through the federal regulatory agencies. But we just wanted to show, we've tried to go above and beyond to address concerns that we heard.
Councilwoman James, thank you so much for taking those standards.
Thank you.
Mayor Kilgore, any more questions? Council have any other questions, comments?
Mayor, Councilman
Yes.
Gordon. Yeah, I could direct this to Mr. Pridemore, I believe. First of all, let me just say I really appreciate your patience and your understanding and your meetings with our citizens that have brought, concerns to you and to us. And the concessions that you have made have been appreciated. The only other comment that I have or question is in the area of density. And I consistently hear from most of these citizens that well, one, they'd like the 55s eliminated altogether and just go 65 and 100. And I get that would be eliminating, more lots. But what I was really trying to find out is there no way we could flip the two? The 233 make 55 and the 342 to 65. That would not cut your density that much. It would allow some variety, but it would help the overall. So, I guess that's my primary concern, density.
Yes, sir, Mr. Gordon. And what I'd like to point out is that, we also have to consider, one of the things I'd like to say for the record too is, again, this is a unique situation. A lot of times when I represent development, the developer is not the property owner. And therefore, they just have to make a business decision. Either they're going to move forward with the project and purchase it, or they just get to walk away from it. In this case, the developer is the property owner. As we had stated last time, they've owned this thing for about 14 years. But having said that, as we looked at the financial numbers, we look at where we started from. And I know where we started from when I got involved is not really relevant to council because it's just a number. But they had a much higher performance. Like I said, it was closer toward 1,000 units. We immediately shot that down, worked down, and we went into this plan, what we thought was a very viable plan at 820. And I can tell you, losing 119 lots really hurts the aspect of the project from a performance standpoint. What they expected to get out of it. I know it's here nor there, but I think when you look at the way the plan transitions, at this point, it'd be tough to drop more things without really just, delaying this project to no end. And, we'd like to get a conclusion. We've really battled with this and the client's been more than gracious to listen. They hadn't been happy along the entire process, but they've listened. And I've had to say, hey, look, you have to understand council's asking for us to work with the city and get there. But as we look at the density, all the other projects I brought into the city have been closer to 3.5 units or more per acre. And we're all the way down to 2.17. Just by base zoning, we're allowed 2 units an acre. And so what we're asking for is this density in exchange for all the improvements we've got to do to help pay for those improvements, such as, we've got probably nearly $2 million worth of traffic improvements, if not more, to take care of. We've probably got $2+ million worth of major water and sewer we got to take care of as part of all this. So financially, this was kind of it hurt to get to where we're at. It really hurts to go any lower at this point. So we're just asking for your consideration. And I think the transition, as far as impact the people, the way we flowed the lots from the 100s to 65s to 50s, we got it away where it's not as impactful visually.
Okay, Freddie Gordon again, council member again. Now there's no 50s. There's just 55 and 65 and 100.
That's correct.
Okay, no, and so where did you draw that number 119 from when I mentioned the fact that we just flipped those two? All I was saying was more 65, less 55. Are you telling me you're going to lose 119 lots by doing that?
No, sir. What I'm saying is from the last plan we presented to you to where we're
okay.
at now, we're down 120 or roughly 100, exactly 119 lots. And if we flip them, I don't know how much we're going to lose, but that's a good bit of time. And again, at the end of the day, there's a lot of public commitments we've committed to move this project forward that we do have to, figure out how to pay for. And from a project viability standpoint, it's much more advantageous from a financial health standpoint for the project. One, to make sure it gets off the ground and stays on the ground and succeeds and through completion, to have more smaller lots than the large ones.
This is Majid.
Okay, well,
I'm going to remind Mr. Pridemore, and everyone knew that didn't hear this for the 4 o'clock. The council knows this, and so does city staff. But if you're asked to answer something or going to speak on behalf of something, please identify yourself. That's required under state law. Council does it. They're great at it, and staff gets it. But our visitors, I don't think you may have remembered. So when you do jump in, please identify yourself. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, Councilman Freddie Gordon, one more time. And I get, where we're coming from. Just keep in mind, Mr. Pridemore, that what we're suggesting, what I'm suggesting, I don't speak for the rest of the council. I only speak for myself. Number one, I think we all know how dollars and cents and land and lots happen and occur. All I'm saying to you is this is a large project with a large number of houses, and we realize it's going to take years to build out. All we want is the best possible development that we can get for our city. So we're not asking to destroy what you're presenting. I'm not even suggesting that to deny it. I'm merely saying we want this to be the best possible development that we can get. And that's really what got us to this point today. And so do keep that in mind. I'm not being critical of the development, but I'm merely saying, let's make it the best that it can be. And that's the only reason for me suggesting what I'm suggesting. One, I think it might help some of the citizenry like it a little better. And ultimately, I think the end consumer will like it a little better because they'll have a few more of the wider lots and instead of the larger number of the narrower lots. And it's ultimately going to make this development better and really more financially rewarding. So I just want you to know where I'm coming from.
Brandon Pridemore. Yes, sir. I understand. Obviously if council as a whole feels that way, but, unless there's just an overwhelming desire for us to revisit this, I think Stratford Land would like to seek the support with the plan we have in front of you. And again, I think the benefits are with just a little bit more density through this rezoning process. We're offering a lot of architectural standards that the city otherwise would not have on a by right type zoning, like I said, the public improvements, those things. And I fully hear Mr. Gordon, but again, unless there's a council as a whole feels a little bit differently and provides feedback, we're going to ask council to consider, approving the plan that we presented. There's a lot of time and effort and anxiety for that matter, any rezoning for that matter, to get to the point we're at today.
This Councilwoman James, I agree with Council Member Gordon if we can flip them, that would be great.
Councilmember Anthony, I also agree with Councilmember Gordon and Councilmember James. it'll be aesthetically more pleasing to the eye. And I think it's a better product for your consumers.
Councilman Kazire also agree with Councilman Gordon.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway, I agree with Councilman Gordon also. And the others.
So this is
Same here.
applicant Pridemore. So can I ask council this? Mr. Gordon, and for those that supported the motion, try to flip those numbers completely around. You know, that's likely going to be quite a few more lots. I mean, we're minus 15% from what they would really like to achieve. And I get that this is negotiation. If we could draw that number to be more 50-50, would that be viable in your eyes if we can present a plan that's more 50-50?
Well, Councilman Gordon, don't misconstrue what I said. It wasn't a motion. I was merely making the statement of how I personally felt about it. Now, so there's 576 lots there, 575 lots, excuse me. So you're talking about roughly 262 and a half each. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, sir. If we can develop a plan that's that way. I mean, so, you know, I will state for the record, the layout really won't change. It's just we're going to change the lot patterns. If I could get staff who's controlling the plan view, if you can go to our northern pod there, right there, if you'll go down a little bit, you know, the area I'd convert is that, because again, I think the natural progression as we look from the lake going up to 601 would be large lots, you know, the medium-sized lots, smaller lots, you know, we'll convert some of those areas and try to balance that to be more of a 50% between the 55 and 65 foot wide lots. I mean, if that's the wish of council, that's something, you know, we'll definitely do. And I don't know if we have to have a revised plan to get that approved. That can just be a condition, and we'll provide a final plan to staff for final stamping.
Council, this is Majib Shah Khan. If these are significant enough changes, it would be up to you. If they're the changes you want to see, you could require to be approved with what you're asking for and then have it brought back to staff. Or you could, if you wanted to have them come back with those numbers and the plan so that you could see it, you could continue this. But it's up to you, whatever you would like to do. And I cannot, and just counting, it sounded like there was support to do that. But the question is, are you comfortable with it, them doing it, and then leaving it to staff to sign off on the finals?
Well, Councilman Gordon here again. I state I'm not speaking for the council. Listen. Again, this is all about deliberation, consultation, and hopefully some compromise. And again, I state. We've been into this now for a while, months, and I get that they would like to continue on and get this thing put behind them. I think what you're offering is better. And let's see, 7. So you're talking about exact same number of lots there on a 50-50 basis.
Yes, sir. And this is Brandon Pridemore again. And, truth be known, when we, if council so is agreeable to what I'm proposing, our overall lot count's going to go down. We can't just simply swap those two numbers around mathematically with the space we have. It won't work. We're not going to maintain the same density, but whatever net result we have when we make the change between the 55 and 65, if council is agreeable to an emotion, approve it to be 50-50. I mean, that's pretty easy for staff to track and monitor, and then they can always provide you an update. But, unless you feel differently, I don't necessarily know it needs to come back with those conditions being very specific. But I could tell you today, sitting here, if we make that change, our density is not going to stay the same. We're going to drop a little bit more.
Right. Yeah, I get that. Freddie Gordon. Yeah, I get that. Well,
Council, this is Majib Shakan. My apologies, just had a slight glitch here. I want to point out one very important thing, that if you were to want to have these changes, this is different than your traditional rezoning because there's an annexation component involved. So if you're at all concerned that the plan may come back and not have everything you exactly want, you may be better off pushing this off because of the annexation. Because if you were to approve all this and annex the property, it comes into the city, and undoing an annexation is awfully hard to do.
okay, Councilman Gordon again. So again, for Mr. Pridemore in Stratford, I'm not proposing denial, but I would entertain the thoughts of a possible tabling for 30 more days in order for these things to be incorporated, so we could take them in the proper order and not have to worry about approving annexation and then the project again, and then we could knock it all out with one time. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Shakan?
Councilmember Gordon, this is Majib Shakan. Yes, I am, and the only reason I am saying it is because of the annexation part of it. That's where it gets a little thornier.
Councilwoman Anthony, Councilman Gordon, if that is a motion, I will second it.
Okay, well, I can make that motion. Again, we're not trying to stonewall. We're not trying to put you off. But 30 more days and having these changes worked in is not a bad thing, in my opinion. So I will make that in the form of a motion. And for Councilman Gordon, again, for our attorney, I may have to ask his help in stating this motion, but basically what I'm saying is to table this for another 30 days for our deliberation and staff, developer, engineer, et cetera, and to bring it back in 30 days with the changes that we're recommending or suggesting.
Councilmember Gordon, I believe what you are saying is that this item will be tabled for 30 days to return at your May 2021 meeting.
Yes, sir, that is correct.
And Councilmember Anthony, I know this is Majib Shakan again. I think you were inclined to second that. Is that still your?
Yes, I still, Councilwoman Anthony, I still second.
Thank you, ma'am.
Mayor Kilgore, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, I'll take roll call. Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Desire,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes. Councilman McGee.
Yes.
Okay, that will come back up on the May meeting, May 13th. What is it? What is the date in May it comes back up? Anyway, it'll come up in the next council meeting in May, so that will continue to then. Okay, thank you very much.
Majib Shakan, it will be May 11th.
May 11th, did you say?
Yes, Mayor, May 11th. This is Majib Shakan.
Okay. All right, very good. Thank you very much. And Mayor Kilgore will go to council. We'll go to item C. No, that's on. No, let's see.
Item 9.
Yeah, we'll move on. We'll move on out of that one. Okay, item 9 is a zoning map amendment request to rezone properties located at the intersection of the Monroe Expressway, Concord Highway, and Ridge Road for conditional district Union Commons. Residential low density, R40, conditional district, the Ridge at 601. the text amendment request to amend code of ordinance, so forth, and official zoning map and section, addition district to be established. This is a public hearing, and I'll open it at this time. And let's see, I recognize Senior Planner Doug Britt at this time.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Again, this is Doug Britt, Planning Department. And this is a zoning map and text amendment request filed by Ridge Road Partners LLC for the properties located at the intersection of Monroe Expressway, Concord Highway, and Ridge Road. The applicants request a conditional district in order to develop a mixed-use project which consists of apartments, single-family attached townhomes, and commercial uses on 58.13 acres. The conditional district rezoning is a voluntary process with mutually agreed upon conditions by the applicant and the city. This is the aerial map of the property. As stated, the property's parcels are outlined in blue, located along Concord Highway, Ridge Road, and the Monroe Expressway. The orange line is the city limits. The subject properties are currently zoned conditional district Union Commons and R40. And again, the properties are outlined in blue. The conditional district Union Commons is located here along Ridge Road and Concord Highway. And the other two properties of the project are located along Ridge. And obviously they back up to the Monroe Expressway. The properties to the west are part of the project are zone R40. And then the properties there in the maroon color are the existing conditional district Union Commons. Union Commons was a conditional district that was approved by the city in 2004 that authorized the development of 301,000 square feet of office and retail space. And this project was on 48.92 acres. It was, like I said, was approved in 2004, but obviously has not been developed over the years.
I'm coming back to it. Hey.
This is a site plan of the project. And I stated they are requesting to develop a mixed-use project that consists of 307 apartments, 215 single-family attached townhomes, a 48,000 square foot retail grocery store, 7,800 square foot of retail shop space, a 150 room hotel, convenience store, gas station, and a drive-through restaurant. The developer has excluded the following uses for the project: motor vehicle repair, building material sales, recording studios, trade schools, and funeral services. The minimum lot size for the single-family attached townhome lots will be 1,400 square feet with an average of 1,600 square feet per lot. And again, that's the townhome size. And just kind of let you know, zoom in a little bit. The commercial area is located here along Ridge and 601. This shows the hotel, the grocery store, the 1,700 square foot retail space, as well as the drive-through restaurant and the convenience store. This location here, these are the 2-story apartment units, and this row of 4 and this setting of 3 and this one over here, these are the 3-story apartment units, and the rest of these right here going toward the bypass, these are all the townhome units. The minimum heated square footage of the single family attached townhomes will be 1,100 square feet, excluding the garage. And the minimum square footage for the apartments will be as follows. The 1-bedroom will be 630, the 2-bedroom will be 960, and the 3-bedroom will be 1,110 square feet. The total density of the project is 8.98 units per acre. The open space provided for the project is 41.23 acres. The applicant is providing 13.24 acres of open space in the residential portion of the project, and the overall open space in the entire project is 16.28 acres or 28%. The proposed amenities include the following: benches, playground equipment, clubhouse and pool. They'll have a gazebo, picnic area, bike racks, and hard surface courts. This shows the main amenity area. This is where the clubhouse and pool would be located. Also, they have hard surface courts at this location. I have a playground at this location, as well as the gazebo across the street from there. All the single-family attached townhomes and apartments will have solid front yards prior to the issuance of the CO. Each building apartment will have at least 2 trees planted for healthy growth in our climate. Street trees will provide throughout the townhome portion of the project. The apartment units, as well as the commercial portion of the project, will have landscaping throughout the project as required by the ordinance for parking lot landscaping. There is a stream that's located on the site. They did provide the 50-foot stream buffer required on both sides of the stream as required by the ordinance, as well as the applicant required to provide stormwater management to treat stormwater runoff for the project, and that would be reviewed and approved at the construction phase if the project is approved by council. At this time, the developer has not made a commitment to the number of bedrooms being provided for the project because the apartments will range from being 1 to 3 bedroom units. And the ordinance requires 1 space per parking, 1 space per bedroom plus a half space per unit. The interior units of the single family attached townhomes will be provided with a 1-car garage, and all of the end units will have 2-car garages. All driveways for single family attached townhomes will have be able to accommodate at least 2 vehicles. And based on that ratio for the garages and the driveways, the total parking area provided for the townhomes will be 719 parking spaces. And the developer is proposing a total of 567 parking spaces for the apartments. And then there would be a total of 436 parking spaces for the commercial area. At this time, I'm moving to the transportation section of the project. As you can see, there's no access to the project off of Concord Highway or 601. DOT has, based on this location, located in close proximity to the bypass. This location of 601 is deemed to be limited access, which basically does not allow them to have access to 601. So they're proposing 4 access points of the project along Ridge Road. And I'll start furthest way for an intersection. Access A, access B, access C, then access D would be closest to the intersection at Ridge Road and 601. At this time, I'll go over the improvements for each access. Access A will be a full movement intersection with the addition of a westbound left turn lane on Ridge Road into the site. So access A, you'll be able to turn left or right into the site from Ridge Road. As well, you can leave the site and turn right or left to go away from 601 or towards 601. And this shows the installation of the required left turn lane. Access B will be a full movement intersection with the addition of a westbound left turn lane on Ridge Road into the site and an eastbound right turn lane into the site. As you can see, here's the left turn lane on Ridge Road that will be allowed to turn into the site. And here's the right turn lane that will be allowed to turn to the site. When you go to leave the site, you'll be able to turn left to go away from 601 or turn right to go towards 601. Access C, this intersection will be constructed as a leftover right out only intersection with the addition of a westbound left turn lane on Ridge Road into the site. This will, and I'll say this, the areas right here with the little dots, this is concrete median at this location. At this location, you'll have the left turn lane that you'll be able to turn into the site, and you can turn right into the site off Ridge Road. But when you leave the site, you can only turn right. You will not have the ability to turn left to go away from 601 based on the installation of the concrete median. Access D, this will be a right in, right out only intersection with the addition of a concrete median that will extend just past access C through access D. So basically you can turn right into it and turn right out of it, but there will be no left turn lanes either into the site or leaving the site as well. Developer is proposing 8-foot sidewalk along Ridge Road, as well as 601 as required by the ordinance. This project falls within the school attendance area of Unionville, Piedmont Middle, and Piedmont High. Per the Board of Education policy, Piedmont Middle School is no longer accepting transfer students due to high enrollment. At this time, I'll touch on the elevations. I have some more detailed drawings. I'll go through individually. I'll just leave this up for a second. The exterior building materials for the single-family attached townhomes and apartments will consist of brick, fiber cement, stone, and stucco. Developers proposing the front facade of both the single-family attached townhomes and apartments consist of at least 25% brick or stone. Vinyl is only proposed for the trim work on both the proposed building options for trim work. The townhouses constructed on the slab foundations will be provided with a minimum of 4 courses of brick of standard size or stone extended at the face of the slab, while all of the apartments will be provided with brick foundations on all of the buildings. The minimum heated square footage for the single-family attached townhomes is 1,100 square feet, excluding the garage. All garages will be furnished with Carrot-style hardware and/or windows along the top. The developer is proposing for the 2-story and 3-story apartment buildings for the project. The 2-story buildings will offer the option for 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, and 3-bedroom. The 3-story buildings will offer the option for studios, 1-bedroom, 2-bedroom, 2-bedroom split, and 3-bedroom units. The minimum square footage of apartments, again, are as follows: 635 square feet for the 1-bedroom. The 2-bedroom is 910 square feet, and 3-bedroom is 1,110 square feet. The exterior build materials for the commercial will consist of brick, stone, stucco, and fiber cement. Prohibited exterior materials include wood, vinyl, metal, and mirrored glass. This is an example elevation of the townhomes. Again, as you can see, the end units will have the 2-car garages and the interior units will have the 1-car garages. Just another example of the townhomes. These are the 2-story apartment units. Again, these 2-story apartment units. This is an example of the 3-story apartment units. This is a floor plan. Obviously, you have the 3-bedroom units, the 2-bedroom units, 1, and obviously you have the studio apartments as well that make up it. And there's different floor plans they can do, but one has, based on how they do the studios, one can have a total of 30 units, one can have a total of 32 units based on how they choose to develop it for each building. This is the hotel example. The grocery store. And this will be the restaurant. And the convenience store. The land development plan indicates this area is located in a regional mixed-use center. These centers are usually large-scale, measuring 1 mile in diameter, that represents approximately a 20-minute walking distance. These centers are master plan areas that are built in phases with a mix of non-residential, residential, and civic uses. It is likely the regional mixed-use center will support the most intense concentration of retail, employment, and high-density residential and other mixed uses. These areas are typically located near major highways to ensure the ease of access for longer trips. Residential in these locations, density-wise, there's no density cap in the regional centers because that's where staff and the comprehensive plan projects the most dense projects to be located at. And since this is adjacent to the bypass, that's the reason for this location of the regional center. Plan staff is of the opinion the development pattern of mixed-use development with different housing options and non-residential development at this location is consistent with the land development plan at 8.98 units per acre and is a reasonable use to the project being located within the regional mixed-use center. Again, this is the description of based on the future land use plan. The applicant held a neighborhood meeting back in July 7th, and obviously it's been some time since that meeting, but due to a piece of property that was added to the project, And based on waiting on the traffic impact analysis that had to be revised a number of times, and based on a number of iterations of different plans we saw, it's taken from July to get to council now. At the meeting held back in July, there was approximately 7 to 8 people at that meeting. And general concerns were just the traffic and the growth in the area, as well as a rezoning sign, as well as rezoning notification letters were mailed out 10 days prior to this meeting. There were 39 properties notified of this meeting, and plan board and staff do recommend approval of this project. I'll be glad to answer any questions, and the applicant is online with a presentation for you to consider tonight as well.
Okay.
Mayor Kilgore, Councilman, Planner Doug Brett, I have a question.
Yes, sir.
This is a public hearing, and I want to bring this up. The public hearing that we had 28 written public comments. Out of the 24 opposed, 2 had 24 opposed, 2 was in favor, and 2 undecided. These comments would be attached to the April 13th, 2021 minutes. So my question to you is, you've covered a lot of it, and I know each council member has seen these comments and read them. And I know it's probably up to state. A lot of comments in there was what the speed limit is going to do, what's it going to do for the schools, and I think you addressed the school. Of course, the speed limit stuff's going to be up to the state to change, is my understanding. But you got any comment on that and what the some of them even commented about their mailboxes. Of course, I know that's up to the post office also, but you have any comment about the speed and situation of what the state may do, or have you heard anything on that?
I have not, and maybe Matt Kirchner can speak to that, but I will say the speed limit, posted speed limit on Ridge Road in that area is 45 miles per hour. So to say whether that would get reduced, it'd be ultimately be an NCDOT decision whether to do that or not. And I know you can petition the state to reduce the speed limit, but to speak to that 100% certainly at this point in time, I wouldn't know. Again, this is Doug Britt speaking.
Yeah, Mayor Kilgore, I don't know what that's up to state as we said, but surely, they would lower that in that particular area. And I believe you heard the school systems is capable of taking care of that. Is that correct?
The school system, when I sent the email to them, they acknowledged that Piedmont Middle School is that they will not accept any transfer students. And basically what that is, because I spoke to the school system about that, when they say transfer students, it's not speaking of being able to move into the area. Basically when they say that though, let's say Piedmont Middle has a program that they offer that somebody else in the county would like to go to. Basically that's what they're saying. They will not accept transfer students to go to a program that Piedmont Middle would offer. But if there's somebody that's moving into the Piedmont area, either in the county or outside of the county, they're completely capable of going to Piedmont Middle School.
Okay. Any other questions, comments for the planner council?
This Councilwoman James, Doug, can you state there was the project was approved, I guess, years back for like residential. Wasn't that area already approved for something?
Yes, Councilmember James, it was approved as a commercial project back in 2004, and it was called Conditional District Union Commons. And basically that conditional district authorized the development of 301,000 square feet of commercial and office. And just to remind everybody, the way these conditional districts go, they're approved and there's not a sunset. They don't go unapproved. So basically if somebody wanted to come in today, they could develop that conditional district as it was approved back in 2004. They would just have to submit construction drawings, basically mimicking what was approved, but that could be done today. Now I will say that project contained 2 of the 4 parcels you're looking at tonight. So it was 48 acres and some change, and tonight's project is a total of 58 acres and change.
Councilwoman James, thank you so much, Doug, for making that known.
Okay, at this time, the comments I had talked about, the 24 received and so forth and so on. I'll close the public hearing.
Mayor,
yes,
Mayor
yes.
Freddie Gord, council person here.
Yes.
I have a couple of quick questions of Doug, if he doesn't mind.
Oh yeah, we're not getting out of that. I'm just closing the public hearing. Now
Okay.
we're ready for the other question. You go ahead.
Council member Freddie Gordon here. Doug, I wanted to a couple of things I want to hit on. The density you're saying is 8.9 per acre.
Doug Britt, yes, Councilmember Gorner is 8.98 units per acre, correct.
Okay, okay. And the only other thing which we have had a lot of comment, that I was Freddie Gordon, council member again, is that all of the access to this is on Ridge Road. And is there no way that we could speak to the state and allow something on the southernmost point into the project to take a little pressure off of Ridge Road possibly?
Councilmember Gordon, this is Doug Britt answering your question. We've actually followed up with DOT in the last week or so, in the last few days, and that, when this project started, a while back, though, we ran it by DOT and they said, said it was restricted access and would not consider, and we've asked again because staff believes, as well as the developer, they would like to have a exit, if not a right in, right out off of Concord Highway. And basically the way the restricted access is, the DOT purchased that. In order for that to happen, for them to be able to consider, they'd have to purchase it back. But I know from speaking, the engineering director, Sarah McAllister, spoke with DOT, and they said that they would not be supported at the local level to have access off of Concord Highway into this project, even right in, right out.
Can I state that again, please? They would have to what? The citizenry or the council, or who you
No,
say?
sir. The way it would have to work is that the developer would have to purchase back the restricted access. And in order for that to happen, it would have to be supported by the local level. And DOT at the local level said they would not support that as far as allowing access off of Concord Highway to this project or any other project.
Okay. All right.
And 1.2 though, because the closer you get to, I guess, going away from Ridge Road, the closer you get to the access ramp for the bypass. And that's part of the reason why they have restricted access, because the access ramp to the bypass.
Yeah. No, now don't confuse this. My question is not going back toward the bypass from Ridge Road. I'm talking about coming back to Monroe on 601, away from the Ridge Road.
If you're coming, well, this is Doug Britt speaking. If you're coming toward Monroe, away from Ridge Road, you're going toward the bypass. Because the bypass is located, the grocery store and the hotel that you see here on the screen, that's located adjacent to the bypass.
Okay. I was confused. I'm sorry. I apologize. I was confused.
No problem.
Yeah.
Mayor Kilgore, any more council members, any more discussion, questions?
Councilwoman Anthony, Doug, is this gonna be a chain hotel or a private hotel? Is the developer talking to any particular hotel name?
This is Doug Britt speaking. At this time, they have not indicated to us as far as any type of the commercial users, from the hotel to the grocery store or the restaurant or convenience store. At the plan board meeting, that was asked, not for the hotel, but for the grocery store. And at that time, I know they're in conversation with grocers, but to say they were unable to say at that time, and maybe they can shed some light on that since it's been a month. I don't know, but Matt Kirchner might be able to add some more information about that, possibly.
Hello, everybody. Matthew Kirchner with Eagle Engineering. That is still correct at this time. With the way the world is working, we have not had any hard commitments or contracts for either the grocery or hotel at this point. The grocery will probably be a little bit easier to tie on once we get some of the residential rooftops in. The hotel is definitely a little squirrely at this point until they open up everything fully so that they can run at full operation.
Matt or Doug, Mayor Pro Tem Holloway, could you go over the amenities again, please?
Yes, sir. Matthew Kirschner with Eagle Engineering. Doug, if you want to switch over to my PowerPoint, I have a little bit more detailed pictures of the amenities that I could show. Yeah, we can skip through this first couple slides if you want. Just go down to the amenity photos. Yep. And so this is a picture of the clubhouse with the pool area that's shown towards the north part of the project. I think the next picture is going to be a picture of the playground area that's located towards the southern part within the townhome area. Again, really nice high-end features, brick and stuff around it, nice walking paths. The next one's going to be the hard surface court, pickleball courts. This is more towards the north with the walking trail that goes around the stormwater pond. The next photo is going to be the gazebo and gathering area. The kids park that you saw before with the play set is right across the street from this gazebo gathering area, as well as the next picture is the dog park that is on the other side of that corner. So right now you're looking at the dog park. You have the kids area to the west on that side of the street, and then directly to the south of this picture that you're having is the gazebo and gathering area. So you got a good amount of community areas to join. And then after this will just be the elevations, but that will be the amenity areas that you have. And that doesn't include the additional like workout rooms and stuff that are in the clubhouse at the pool. This will all just be the exterior amenity areas. So there'll be a gathering area inside the clubhouse as well. That includes like in a workout gym and conference rooms and things like that as well.
Mayor Kilgore, council have any other questions or comments? If not, no other discussion. Anyone have a motion?
Mayor, I move we adopt the resolution approving the land development plan compliance.
Councilwoman James, second it.
Give me 1 minute. I need to move 1 minute, please.
For the record, Councilmember Keziah made the motion.
Yes, I needed to move. Okay, I have a motion from Councilman Kazar. Would you make that again, please, Mr.
Yes,
Kazar?
sir. Councilman Kazar here, I make a motion that we adopt resolution approving land development plan compliance.
And
All right,
Councilwoman,
go ahead. I'm sorry, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Councilwoman James, second it.
Thank you. Okay. Calling the roll now. Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazar,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes. Councilman McGee.
Yes.
Okay. Let's take us down from B to item C. Council action needed a motion to adopt ordinance amending section 15606.
Motion,
Chairman, so move.
Okay, I have a motion to approve. Do I have a second?
Councilwoman James,
Councilman Anthony, second.
I have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none. Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
yes.
Councilman Kazar,
yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes. Councilman McGee.
Yes.
Let's take us down to item D. Council action needed for the map amendment approved. Motion to adopt ordinance amending section 156.98. Do I have a motion?
So
Councilman,
moved.
Councilwoman Anthony, second.
I have a motion and a second. I have a motion and a second. Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazar,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes. Councilman McGee.
Yes.
Okay, that will pass.
Councilmember McGee, I would like to know, this looks like this is going to be a beautiful development. I'm excited to see this come to Monroe.
I'm having technical difficulties, if you can hear me. But anyway,
We can hear
item
you.
10, okay. Item 10, a zoning map amendment request to rezone property located at 2330 Concord Avenue from residential low density R20, additional district, Union County Humane Service Building, the conditional district, Union County Humane Service and Emergency Services Complex. Amendment request to amend the code of ordinance, land use package and zoning map, section 156.98 title conditional district establishment. This is a public hearing, and we had no written public comments that we received. And at this time, I recognize Senior Planner Doug Britt, and I'll close the public hearing. Doug Britt.
Yes, sir, Mayor. Good evening. This is another rezoning request filed by Union County for the property located at the intersection of Skyway Drive and Concord Avenue. The applicant is proposing to rezone the subject property from R20 residential low density and conditional district Union County Human Service Building to conditional district Union County Human Services and Emergency Services Complex. The existing conditional district that is a portion of the property currently was approved by in 2015 for the construction of the Union County Human Service Building.
I had to move to get some power.
The subject property is outlined in blue, is located along Skyway Drive and Concord Avenue. The property is currently zoned, part of it is zoned R20 and part of it is zoned conditional district. Property to the west is conditional district Blue Sky Meadows, and property to the east is GB General Business, as well as R20, and to the south is R20 as well. Union County is requesting conditional district in order to develop the Union County Emergency Service Complex on the same property as the Human Service Building site. The Emergency Service Complex building will be approximately 24,000 square feet and will include a feature warehouse, radio shop, covered bays, totaling approximately 14,000 square feet. So this shows the existing Human Service Building, parking located around the building. And here to the east or to the south would be the Union County Human Service proposed complex building right here. They would have access off Concord Avenue as well as parking. Additionally, the applicant is also requested to construct a 160-foot radio tower on the subject property. Towers are typically approved by the Board of Adjustment through the special use permit process. However, since this is a conditional district was required for the development of the emergency service complex, the attorney's office advised the tower could be included as part of the conditional district application. The communication tower will be solely for the emergency services communication and will not offer any co-location opportunities as normally required for telecommunication towers. So this will be the tower location at this location right here, as well as the future radio shop and then the covered bays. The project does meet all the setback requirements. The minimum setback required for the tower is 150 feet. Since it is adjacent to a residential zone property, and the tower is currently located 160 feet from the adjacent property. Landscaping will be required to meet all requirements of the ordinance, and that has been shown on the site plan. The applicant, they're proposing to include 50 parking spaces in phase 1 with a future expansion of 24 spaces for a total of 74 spaces for the emergency services complex. And the existing human service building has a total of 718 spaces. The project will be required to provide stormwater as required to meet all the requirements of the stormwater manual. That would be reviewed and approved at the building permit stage. These are elevations of the building, and they're going to propose the building to look similar appearance with the brick material that's used for the human service building to be, for those two to be complementary of each other. And this shows kind of example of what the tower will look like. And again, it's 160 feet tall. typically when we go to the Board of Adjustment, we're doing cell towers, they're required to have a impact study, appraisal impact study stating that the tower will not have an adverse impact on the adjacent property values. This was required for Union County as well, and this is an excerpt from that study that basically says that there was a certified appraiser who did a study and that the tower will not have any adverse impact on the adjacent property values. Property does fall within the suburban land use category. And the suburban category allows neighborhoods, residential, as well as commercial uses. The project is consistent with the land development plan. And staff does recommend approval, and I'll be glad to answer any questions if you have any as well. This plan board and staff recommend approval of the project with the only condition that the applicant should obtain all federal and state and local permits prior to the construction of the site.
Mayor Kilgore, any questions, comments from the council?
And I think the applicant, they have a short presentation they wanted us to show as well too.
I think
Yes, ma'am.
We can entertain that now.
You'll give us just one moment. This is Carrie speaking with the plan.
Guys, we're having trouble with the video. I apologize. And basically the video just shows the exterior of the building that would be brick comparable to the human service building. Mayor?
Yes.
We're having difficulty trying to pull the video. We played it earlier, but we're having difficulty with now. So that concludes my presentation. I know Union County, they're on the line if they have anything they'd like to add as well.
Okay. Be glad if someone's on from the county, be glad to entertain at this time. Apparently, Mayor Kilgore, apparently not anyone on from the county, or I don't get any feedback.
Yes, sir.
You're breaking out real bad with a squeal.
This is Gordon Vincent.
You got an echo in the background.
I'm on the line.
Mayor Kilgore, you're coming through good right now.
Okay. We have specifically selected the brick to match the existing building. However, the brick manufacturer changed the recipe for the brick. So the brick that we're entertaining right now is a little bit lighter, but it's very consistent with the brick that's on the existing human services building. The lighter of the bricks, we would not be using the red brick that's on the human services building.
Okay, thank you, sir. Anything else?
Not unless you have any other questions for me. This is Gordon Vincent.
Right. Okay, does the council have any questions?
no.
Okay, Mayor Kilgore, thank you very much. Appreciate your presentation. As I stated, this was a public hearing and we had no written comments at all. And I had to close the public hearing, and at this time, if there's not any other questions or comments, we'll take action.
Councilwoman,
Tim, I make a motion to adopt the resolution approving land development plan compliance.
Okay, I have a motion.
Councilmember McGee, I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second, and I'll call the roll. Councilman Anthony,
yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazire,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes, and Councilman McGee.
Yes.
Okay. And
Okay.
we'll need to take action on item B.
Councilwoman Anthony, motion to adopt ordinance amending section 156.106.
Councilmember McGee, I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. Calling the roll. Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazire,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes, and Councilman McGee.
Yes.
Okay, that'll take us to action on item C.
Councilmember McGee, motion to adopt ordinance amending section 156-98.
Councilwoman Anthony, I second.
Have a motion and a second. Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazire,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes, Councilman McGee.
Yes.
Okay. That will pass. Item D. Council action needed for the item D.
You've already done it, Mayor.
Mayor, you got it all.
Okay, that got it all. I was on the wrong page.
This is
Item 11. Item 11, zone amount amendment request for zone property located near the intersection of North Charlotte Avenue and Dickerson Boulevard from conditional district, Dickerson Boulevard residential, to conditional district, Kramer Village, text amendment request, amend code, ordinance, so forth, section 156, 106, title, official zoning map. This is a public hearing, and we have had 3 written public comments in opposition. These comments will be attached to the April 13th, 2021 minutes. And at this time, we'll close the public hearing. I'll recognize Planner Carrie Medler to present the item.
Good evening, council. This is Carrie Mendler with the Planning Department. Tonight, I'll be presenting a zoning map and text amendment by request by Carolina Development for the property located along North Charlotte Avenue near the corner of Dickerson Boulevard. The applicant is requesting a conditional district rezoning in order to develop 90 attached single-family homes, also known as townhomes. The total area of the project is 12.9 acres with 5.12 acres, or 40% of that, left as a common open space. To orient you to the site, the property is highlighted in blue. It is located north of North Charlotte Avenue and east of Dickerson Boulevard. The site is currently zoned conditional district, Dickerson Boulevard Residential. The previous conditional district was approved in June of 2005, which authorized the development of 46 attached single-family homes with a density of 4.25 units per acre with 2.9 acres of open space. The property is located, again, east of North Charlotte Avenue, or north of North Charlotte Avenue and east of Dickerson Boulevard. The property to the east is currently zoned multifamily and general industrial. The property to the south is zoned residential, single family, and general business. And the property to the west is zoned general business and single family R20, which is this gray color. Just to orient you further, this parcel here to the west is the Bilo grocery store. And then the ConNet facility is located here to the east with this general industrial zoning. As I stated, the applicant is requesting a conditional district in order to develop 90 attached single-family homes. The total area of the project is 12.9 acres with 5.12 acres of open space, which equates to 40% of the site. The ordinance requires a 50-foot landscaped buffer for this project. A 50-foot landscape buffer is provided along the northern property line, the eastern and southern property line as well. Due to space constraints, there is a 20-foot landscape buffer provided to the part of the property at this location. And then as well as the southern southwestern property line, a 28-foot landscape buffer is being provided. Street trees will be provided at a rate of 1 tree for every unit or every 2 units. Additionally, each building or set of townhomes will also have at least 2 trees. This project is required to provide at least 50% open space, which would equal 6.45 acres. The applicant has provided 5.12 acres, which is 40% of the total site. Staff does believe this is a reasonable deviation request to the ordinance standards. The open space will also include a small amenity located at this area. That amenity area will include a gazebo and a few benches for gathering. The applicant will be required to provide stormwater detention to manage and treat the stormwater runoff for this project. The stormwater will be evaluated and reviewed if the project is reviewed by City Council at the building permit stage of the process. 5-foot wide sidewalk will be provided along both sides of all the interior streets. Additionally, a 10-foot wide sidewalk will be provided along North Charlotte Avenue. The intent is for the developer to construct this sidewalk at the time of site development. However, there's also a future NCDOT funded project for this area titled U-6031 that includes the sidewalk. If the road project is constructed prior to the site development, then the sidewalk would be installed as part of the NCDOT project. This property is located again between North Charlotte Avenue and Dickerson Boulevard. There is an existing private drive that runs through this property, and the applicant is proposing to bring this private drive up to city standards in order for it to become a public street. All other proposed internal streets will be built to city public street standards as well. The City of Monroe did not require a traffic impact analysis for this project. Additionally, the North Carolina Department of Transportation did not require a traffic impact analysis. However, they are requiring that the developer install right turn lanes to access the development on North Charlotte Avenue as well as Dickerson Boulevard. As I mentioned, there is a future project proposed along North Charlotte Avenue that is for a future widening. And this project does take that project into consideration as far as additional right-of-way and setbacks. The developer is proposing the exterior building materials to be fiber cement, stone, stucco, or brick. Vinyl will only be utilized for trim work, and the minimum heated floor area of the townhomes is 1,300 square feet. The applicant is proposing that all units will have at least a 1-car garage attached, with an option for end units to have an attached 2-car garage. All front load garages will have carriage style trim and or hardware to mimic carriage style doors. And the interior units will have driveways large enough to accommodate at least 2 vehicles. And the exterior units will have driveways large enough to accommodate at least 3 vehicles. The ordinance requires multifamily projects provide parking at a rate of 1 space per bedroom plus an additional half space per unit. Assuming that each of these units has 2 bedrooms, this project would require 225 parking spaces. Currently, they are proposing a minimum of 302 parking spaces. Again, this is 1-car garage minimum in all the units and 2 spaces in the driveway for the 58 interior units and 3 spaces in the driveway for 32 end units. This development falls within the following school districts: Rocky River Elementary, which is currently at 82% of rated capacity; Monroe Middle, which is currently at 87% of rated capacity, and Monroe High School, which is currently at 70% of rated capacity. According to Don Ogrum with the school system, they do not currently anticipate that this development will present an adverse impact on school enrollments. The applicant did hold a neighborhood meeting on December 16th, 2020. There were no attendees at this meeting, so the applicant held a second neighborhood meeting on January 7th of 2021. Both meetings were held via Zoom at Eagle Engineering's offices, as well as the Zoom option for people to call in. 3 individuals attended the second meeting. Additionally, a rezoning notification sign was posted 10 days prior to the public hearing, and an official rezoning notification letter was sent to the adjacent property owners located within at least 150 feet, again, 10 days prior to the public hearing. The land development plan indicates that this area is in the community corridor character area. The community corridor generally covers most of US 74 and areas adjacent to intersecting major streets. The area serves as a primary conduit to downtown and the spine of the community, with critical connections to major employers, the Charlotte Monroe Executive Airport, the hospital, and the Concord Avenue area. Priority uses in the community corridor include multifamily residential projects, and the allowable density is 4 to 10 units per acre. The proposal is consistent with the future land use plan. Planning staff did recommend approval of the conditional district with the following conditions. End units to have 2-car garage minimum. The applicant did not add this as a condition. Planning staff also recommended that all driveways be able to accommodate at least 2 vehicles. And the applicant did revise the site plan since planning board so that all interior unit driveways, again, will be able to accommodate at least 2 vehicles, and all end unit driveways will be able to accommodate at least 3 vehicles. Planning board did recommend denial of this rezoning, however. That concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. The applicant is also online and has a brief presentation if you would like to listen to that. And
Mayor Kilgore has a question, Ms. Medler. You talked about the 2-car garage, and did you say that y'all had asked or requested at least a 2-car garage? I heard you say some of them had 1-car garage, but did I hear you say that y'all had requested the 2-car garage?
And Matthew Kirschner with Eagle Engineering, let me help respond to that one. City staff has requested 2 car garages on the end units, and we are in agreement with that one. So we already updated the site plan to show the additional driveway parking locations. But as part of the condition of their approval tonight, we do agree to have double garages on the end units for staff recommendation.
And this is Carrie with the planning department. Just for clarification, the site plan presented to you tonight does not include that, nor do the elevations. But it sounds like the applicant has agreed to that as a condition.
Okay, also a question. The only entrance and exit is that on Dickerson Boulevard. Are there anything on Charlotte Avenue? I didn't see that.
Carrie with the planning department. So there is an existing private drive currently, so that will remain in effect. So there will be an entrance on North Charlotte Avenue with a right turn lane to access into the development. And then there will also be still an entrance off of Dickerson Boulevard, again with a right turn lane added on Dickerson to turn right into the development.
Yes, ma'am. Mayor Kilgore. Yes, ma'am. I recall now you talk about that private drive. Thank you very much. That's all I have. Any other questions, Council have?
Carrie, Mayor Pro Tem Holloway, you mentioned about planning board. What is staff's recommendation?
Planning staff did recommend approval with those conditions regarding the driveways and the 2-car garage for the end units, which again, the site plan does not have that shown. However, it sounds like the applicant is agreeable based off tonight's conversation.
Mayor Kilgore, Ms. Medler, on the planning board, what was the vote, if you know?
Mayor, that is a good question. I can pull it up really quick. I don't know off the top of my head, but it will take me just 2 seconds to pull it up if you would like me to.
Yes, ma'am, if you will, if it won't take you but a couple of seconds. I don't want to put in a lot of time pulling it up.
Okay, Councilwoman Anthony, while you're looking, that private driveway, has the owner of the driveway granted permission for its use?
Carrie with the planning department. The private driveway is currently on this property. I'm going to pull up the aerial. So the property boundary is highlighted in blue that you see here. And this is the existing private drive that will be brought up to city standards. So it is currently on the subject property proposed to be rezoned tonight. And Mayor, to answer your question, this is Carrie again. Here are the motions at Planning Board. So looks like it was 1 opposed.
Okay, one opposed.
No,
Thank you, ma'am.
negative, negative. Carrie,
I'm sorry.
you got
Yeah,
it backwards.
this is Carrie, and I do apologize. Planning Board did recommend denial with 1 opposing the denial recommendation. Planning staff recommended approval. I apologize for that confusion.
Okay, very good. Thank you, ma'am.
Carrie, Freddie Gordon, council member, why you got that litho up right there right now? I don't seem to be able to move it around on mine. You come back around here to Charlotte Avenue and drop it, pull it up a little bit. Is that Sparta Drive, the road that you're talking about that they're going to access? It says private.
No, the private access, the private drive is not a named drive or road. It is right here is the road that will be increased, and this is Carrie.
Yeah, and Freddie Gordon again. Now that is the existing road at this time on that property that really circles around behind the Bilo and then back out to Dixon Boulevard. Is that correct?
This is Carrie, and yes, that is correct.
Yeah, Carrie. Okay, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, thank you. And Councilman Gordon, again, I'll just ask these one question. Now, I know this was brought up on Planning Board. I can't help but be bringing it up myself. I believe that you stated that it was 90 units that were actually being built on 7 of the 12.85 acres. And really, so if you look at it from that standpoint, that on that 7 acres, 90 units brings it up to about almost 13 units per acre. And then I think you further stated that the planning department had recommended 4 to 10 units for this development. Is that not correct?
This is Carrie with the planning department. This property falls within the community corridor character area of the future land use plan, which does allow 4 to 10 units per acre. So the current density is 6.98 units per acre, and that is calculated off of the total number of units and then the total amount of site area. So that is the density which is allowed within the community corridor. Does that answer your question?
I'm not certain that it does, because I thought that I'd previously been told that this was maximum. Give me those numbers one more time. On the 12, you're saying you're getting it up on the 12.85 total and the 90 units. My calculator is going dead here for some reason.
Yes, the density is calculated based off of the total number of units and the total area of the site, which is the 12.9 acres, which is 6.9 units per acre.
Okay, and the size of all of these is the same, is that correct? 1,300 square feet?
The minimum required or, conditioned as part of this conditional district was 1,300 square feet for the heated square footage of the townhome units. They could potentially be larger than that, but they have set their minimum at 1,300 square feet. And I apologize, this is Carrie with the planning department.
Matthew Kirshner with Eagle Engineering. The end units will be larger than the interior ones. So those minimum square footages will be for the interior units. Each of the exterior units will be larger buildings.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway, Matt, how much larger do you anticipate the end units to be?
Matthew Kirshner with Eagle Engineering. You'll usually get, for a two-car end unit, you usually are out 24 feet. So the interior ones are 21. So you're adding 3 to 5 feet of width on those ones. So I'm gonna probably estimate about 400 square feet larger on the end units.
Mayor Kilgore, question to Carrie. Talking about raising the square footage on these particular units they're talking about. Is that something that they've got to come back and change before we come back, or is that just going in on a statement?
And this Matthew Kirshner with Eagle Engineering. We're not raising the minimum square footage that we have on there. That's still the minimum, but we can go larger on the end units. So we only list minimums. We didn't list maximum square footages. So 1,300 square feet will be the minimum square footage that you'll have, even on the interior units. They'll only go bigger from there. So we'll still meet everything that's on the current zoning plan.
Mayor, this is Majib. Shakan, this is any conditions you impose, we would ask you just to incorporate it on the resolution for land development plan compliance.
Okay, Mayor Kilgore, other comments, questions?
Matthew Kirshner with Eagle Engineering. I do have one more comment that it was noted in one of the public comments that you guys received as well, and also brought up during the community meeting with the neighbor just to the west of us on Charlotte Avenue. There are some major safety concerns on this project currently. The developer has already started to clean up the area to better the location. But with that, we did have local support of the people just adjacent to our project for cleaning up the area and making it a ton safer already, and having for sale townhomes in there. They definitely supported this project.
Okay, thank you, Mayor Kilgore. Council, have any other question or comment?
Yeah, Councilwoman Anthony, what were the major safety concerns?
Matthew Kirshner with Eagle Engineering. This location was a home for the homeless hangout. I believe one of the comments on the community post that they have on there that they were fighting over buggies and throwing bottles all over the place. One of the comments that was not for support of the project listed out the safety concerns that were there existing before we started cleaning up the project. But it's just that there was nothing there. It was open woods. So it was a hangout for homeless people in the area.
Okay, thank you, sir. Mayor Kilgore, any more comments from the council?
Councilman Gordon, again, and out of respect to Matthew and the development, I think this is the proper use for this property. The only two things that concern me are the density and the fact that this was turned down by our planning board. And as a council person and former planning board member, I do give them the respect that I think that they deserve as well. And so that's the only thing that I could say about this. I'm not opposed to the use of the property for this use. The density does concern me, and the fact that it was turned down by planning board. So I'm not making a motion. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying it gives me a little bit of heartburn. That's all.
Mayor
Councilman
Kilgore, any
McGee.
other comment?
Yes,
go ahead.
Councilman McGee, and I fully agree with you, Councilmember Gordon, but with that same sentiment, we have voted against the planning board. So, you know, I totally agree. I like to support the planning board and our staff as much as possible, but and sometimes, you know, we may not all agree. Again, it's up to us to make the best decision for our city. You know, and we are in the city. Sometimes density is a concern, but we're going to have more density being in the city. So, you know, everybody doesn't really want that, but you know, it is the city limits, and there are going to be some locations and some opportunities for more density within the city. So I think that may be some of the concerns for planning board. Okay.
Mayor Pro Tem
Councilwoman
Holloway,
Anthony.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to ask this, Monroe Middle School and Monroe High School is a school that would be fed from this development?
Matthew Kirchner with English Engineering. Yes, ma'am. These will both be into the Monroe School District.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor Pro
Councilman
Tem
McGee.
Holloway,
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm sorry, Matt, is this a project that you may want to table for a month and maybe come back with some, maybe a different plan with maybe not as heavy density?
Matthew Kirchner with Eagle Engineering. If the council members think that I need to table it for a month to revisit the density that is on it, that is definitely something we would be willing to do. With that, I guess the city's ordinance and future planning for this area is 4 to 10 units per acre. We're already well below that 10 units per acre maximum that the city's future planning is calling out for this area. So we're kind of in that median spots. If we were to reduce the density, or if you were to recommend tabling the project, some guidance on what density the city would like to see if we're already following the future use in this area, how much different would you like the project?
Councilman McGee.
Over here, I would probably like to take some time to really take another look at it, and to actually come out with a number right now would be very difficult, I think.
Mayor Kilgore, with the council, then what I'm hearing, would the council want to table this maybe and take a look at it and talk to planning staff again, or what is your desire?
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway, I'm in favor of tabling it for a month and seeing if we can't make it a little more palatable for everyone.
Is that a motion?
I'll put that in the motion, yes.
Actually,
All right, I have a motion.
Mayor and Mayor Pro Tem Holloway, this is Majib Shakan. Could I ask you to amend your motion to table it for 30 days without further advertising and to note that the public hearing has been closed?
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway, I'll make that motion to table it with the caveat, no additional advertising and public hearings closed.
I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Councilman Kazire, second.
I have a motion, a second, calling the roll. Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazire,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes, and Councilman McGee.
No.
Okay. So one no is that, and that'll be that will be followed in 30 days with no further advertisement at this time. Thank you very much for that. We'll move to item 12. This is zoning map amendment and it is a public hearing. It's a request to rezone properties located along Olive Branch Road from residential low density to conditional district. And this is, as I said, is a public hearing, and they advise that the council has received 6 written public comments, 4 opposed, 2 undecided. These comments will be attached to the April 13th, 2021 minutes, and each councilman has received these. At this time, I recognize Planner Carrie Medler.
Good evening, council. This is Carrie Mendler with the Planning Department. Tonight, I will be presenting a zoning text and map amendment request. The applicant is requesting a conditional district rezoning in order to develop 81 single-family lots. The total area of the project is 38.79 acres, with 19.54 acres, or 50% of that, left as common open space. To orient you to the site, the property is highlighted in blue. It is located south of Olive Branch Road and the bypass. The subject property is currently zoned R20 and is located off of Olive Branch. The R20 zoning district allows 20,000 square foot lot sizes with an allowable density of 2 units per acre. Adjoining properties are also zoned R20, which is this gray color, and R40 to the north, which is the tan color. The applicant is requesting the rezoning again to develop 81 single-family lots. The total area of the project is 38.79 acres, with 19.454 acres, or 50% of that, left as common open space. The density of the project is 2.09 units per acre, and the proposed setbacks are 20 feet for the front, rear, and corner sides, and 5 feet for the interior sides. The project is required to provide at least 12.5% open space, which would equal 4.85 acres. The total open space provided is 19.54 acres, or 50%. 0.77 acres, or 2% of the provided open space, is located within the floodplain. The open space will also include soft surface trails in addition to a combination of any of the following components: a covered pavilion / shelter with benches, picnic tables, and/or playground equipment. There are a few blue line streams on this site, and they have been provided with a 50-foot buffer on both sides, and that is what you can see here in the hashed areas. Street trees will be provided at a rate of 1 per 50 linear feet, and all houses will also have at least 2 yard trees. A 50-foot landscape buffer is also being provided along Olive Branch Road. 5-foot wide sidewalk will be provided along both sides of the interior roads throughout the development, and an 8-foot wide sidewalk will be provided along Olive Branch Road. The development is proposed to be accessed by one entrance on Olive Branch Road, and an eastbound right turn lane and a westbound left turn lane will be added to the Olive Branch Road to access this development. The developers proposing the homes will be a minimum of 1,700 heated square feet. The proposed exterior building materials will include fiber cement, stone, stucco, and/or brick. Vinyl and metal will only be used for trim work. At least 25% of the front elevation will consist of brick or stone. And houses built on slab foundations will also have a minimum of 4 course brick, or a minimum of 11 inches of stone extending up the face of the slab. Each home will have a minimum of a 2-car attached garage. All front load garages will have carriage style trim and/or hardware that mimics carriage style doors, and driveways will also be able to accommodate at least 2 vehicles. The development falls within the following school districts: Unionville Elementary, which is currently at 93% rated capacity; Piedmont Middle, which is at 97% rated capacity, and Piedmont High School, which is at 77% rated capacity. Per Board of Education policy, Piedmont Middle School is no longer accepting further transfers due to high enrollment. The applicant did hold a neighborhood meeting on January 28th of 2021. Both the video conference and dial-in phone conference options were available to participants. Approximately 5 individuals attended this meeting, and a summary of that meeting is attached for your reference as well. Additionally, a rezoning notification sign was posted 10 days prior to the public hearing, and an official rezoning notification letter was sent to the adjacent property owners located within at least 150 feet of the subject property, again, 10 days prior to the public hearing. The land development plan indicates this area is suburban. While residential uses typically take the form of neighborhoods with uniform housing types and densities, a mix of housing types and lot sizes is preferred in suburban locations. Multimodal connectivity between neighborhoods and nearby centers should also be emphasized. The density for suburban residential is 2 to 4 units per acre. The proposed project is consistent with the future land use plan. Planning board and planning staff recommend approval of the rezoning. I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. The applicant is also online to answer any questions. They have a brief presentation if you would like to see that as well.
Mayor Kilgore, council have any questions or comments?
Salute to Anthony. I don't have a question. I have a comment. I really like this proposed development.
Okay. Anyone else?
Well, Councilman Gordon here. I'm not sure if my question should be directed to the developer or to staff, but I did have just a couple. The trees that you suggested, is there a caliper designation on that or not?
This is
They
Carrie.
would provide. Yeah.
This is Carrie with the planning department. Typically the trees, yes, we do have a note. So each tree will be a minimum caliper of 1.5 inches, measured 6 inches above grade. And that is typically what we have on our rezoning site plans.
Yeah. Okay. And
Okay.
secondly, out there on the entrance, you know, they're widening the road and creating turn lanes. And I'm curious as to, is that designated for a certain amount of feet for stacking purposes, as say we exit off the freeway and, you know, come down, you know, is it 1 car, 10 cars? I mean, you got an idea about that? I'm just curious. I don't know if that's a DOT determination or what.
This is Carrie with the planning department. Matt Mandel, I believe, is on the call, and he may have a better idea of what the stacking requirement would be. I don't know that off the top of my head, but typically NCDOT will require a certain amount of footage for the stacking for turn lanes.
Yes, good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of council. This is Matt Mandel with ESP Associates. We did have some communication with DOT. The turn lanes that are required would have a minimum of 100 feet of storage and include the appropriate tapers and deceleration tapers based on the design manuals for DOT.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mayor Kilgore, any other questions, comments, council? If not, I'll entertain a motion.
Mayor, this is Councilman Kazire, a motion to adopt resolution approving the land development plan compliance.
Mayor Pro Tem
Councilwoman,
Blaze,
that's that
second.
motion.
I have a motion and a second. Any other comments? Hearing none, Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes.
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazire,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore is yes. Councilman McGee?
Yes.
Okay, that's approved. We'll go to item C, council action needed on the adopt ordinance amended section 156.
Mayor, before
item
you do
C.
that, this is Majib. Can you just note that you've closed the public hearing? I believe you said it. I just wanted to make sure that was absolutely clear that you did close the public hearing.
Yes, I did close.
Thank you, Mayor.
Councilwoman Anthony, ordinance amended section 156-106.
Councilmember Gay, second.
Hello, Bobby.
I believe the mayor's locked up. If Mayor Pro Tem, if you could pick it up. This is Larry.
Mayor Pro Tem, you'll just need, this is Majib, you'll just need to call the roll of the council for the vote.
Councilman Gordon here. I think both the mayor and the mayor pro tem locked themselves up.
No, I got mine going now. All right, we've got, is Bobby close by to you, Lynn?
Huh?
Mayor
Mayor-
Pro Tem, if you could just pick up and do the roll call.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we'll do the roll call then. Councilperson Anthony,
Yes.
Councilperson Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway, yes. Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazar,
Yes.
Councilman McGee,
Yes.
and Kilgore.
Yes, yes, thank you for that. I had some more difficulties here. I'm gonna have to correct that next time. So have you already voted on that one?
Yes.
Okay,
Need
thank you.
your-
Mayor, we need your vote.
Mayor Kilgore would be yes. And to answer your question, I tried to answer it. I don't know if you got it or not. I did close the public hearing and give out the comments. So, yes, so
Mayor.
we're going,
Mayor,
yes,
Councilman Kazar here, motion to adopt ordinance amending section 156.98.
Councilwoman Anthony, second.
okay. I have a motion and a second. Calling the roll, Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
Yes,
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kazar,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes. Councilman McGee.
Yes.
Again, I apologize for the difficulty and thank you for taking care of that. Item 12, zoning map request to rezone property located along Olive Branch Road.
That's just what we did.
Item 12. Okay, I lost that when I lost power. Okay, we'll go to item B. On
Mayor, you
motion
need
to
to go
adopt
to item 13. Mayor, item 13.
item 13. Well, let me. I don't have. Give me 1 minute. I apologize, but I'm looking at this thing. I'm down to item 12.
Mayor.
B, C, and D.
Mayor, this is Majib. Item 13 is the city customer request for Union County Water Service for
Yes, I got-
2604 Farmhouse Lane.
I got that. The page. I had 2 pages stuck together. I apologize. I got that item 13.
Mayor,
Yes.
Councilman Kazar here, I motion to approve the request from Union County.
Councilwoman
All right,
Anthony, second.
I have a motion. I have a second. I'll call the roll. Councilman Anthony,
Yes.
Councilman Gordon,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway,
yes,
Councilman James,
Yes.
Councilman Kilgore, Kazar,
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore, yes. Councilman McGee.
Yes.
Okay. That will pass to item 14 now. I apologize for these difficulties. Page stuck together, but computer went down, so I'm gonna have to get me an Energizer battery, so I apologize. But I'll work that out next time. Item 14, North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality Inventory Assessment. Item 14, I'll recognize at this time our Director, Russ Colbeth.
Thank you, Mayor and council members. I'll keep it quick. I know it's been a long evening for you. Due to the cancellation of Public Enterprise Committee, this is coming to council at the request of the PEC Chair, Councilmember McGee. This is an informational item that is required for us to close out the NCDEQ Asset Inventory and Assessment Grant that we received. So the state requires we bring you a summary of the project, what was accomplished, and how the monies were expended. So in your staff report, you'll see a series of bullet items that outline the positive accomplishments that were made, and then also a summary of the costs. And I'll just say in closing, the grant has provided us with some needed tools to manage the complicated water and sewer assets that we have. It's helped us improve efficiency and effectiveness. And so we're glad to have received this, and we'll be closing out the grant. And with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions, but it's for information only. No council action is required.
Thank you, Russ, for presenting that. The council have any questions or comments for Mr. Colbeth? If not, again, I apologize for the difficulties I had tonight. I will work on these for the next council meeting. I promise I'll have this power restored. So I apologize for that again at this time. If there's nothing else, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Sound like I got a okay. Councilman Anthony?
Yes.
Councilman Gordon?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Holloway?
Yes.
Councilman James?
Yes.
Councilman Gazar?
Yes.
Mayor Kilgore? Yes. And Councilman McGee?
Yes.
That will conclude our meeting, and thank you so much. And again, I apologize for my difficulties. I wish you a good night and a good day tomorrow. See you next month, if not before.